The Holdovers, which is the new drama from Alexander Payne, who was the guy behind Election, about Schmidt, Nebraska, and, perhaps most celebratedly, Sideways. So this reteams Alexander Payne with Sideways star Paul Giamatti, who won a Golden Globe recently. It's written by David Hemingson, who apparently drew on his own experiences of being at boarding school and from time he spent with an uncle and learning life lessons. So the film is set. It's weird because it's released now, but it's set at Christmas. And it's kind of odd that they didn't actually release it at Christmas. It's a bit strange. So it's set around Christmas 1970. It has the look and texture of a film that was made in the period in which it is set. Paul Giamatti is Paul Hunnam, who is classics professor at this university. And it's not the university, this elite New England boarding school. Why did I say university? I literally just said boarding school. Barton Academy. He is disconsolate. He is misanthropic. He's lonely. He views the students with a degree of contempt, although he's a great educator. But you get the sense that something has happened in his life, and he should have been somewhere. He should have been in more glorious surroundings, but he isn't. And we see that he drowns his sorrows in alcohol. After failing to give one posh student an appropriately high grade to get him into the university that he wanted to go to, the headmaster says, his father's got money. He said, yeah, but he didn't get the grade. He said, yeah. So he is then given the job of looking after the holdovers. These are students who stay behind at school at Christmas because they haven't got somewhere to go to for various reasons. One such is Angus. He's played by Dominic Sessa, rising star now, Dominic Sessa, who was expecting to go home, but who learns at the last moment that isn't going to happen, that his mum and her new partner want time together. So he's not going back. So embittered, angry professor, embittered, angry young student, and stoical head cook Mary Lambert, played by Divine Joy Randolph, who won the Golden Globe for supporting actress, and rightly so. She is grieving the loss of her son in the Vietnam War. At first, the group bicker and fight, not least after a party which they have to leave early after things don't quite go as planned. So what happens is, obviously, you know, because of the everything you're learning about the drama, you know that what's going to happen is during the course of the drama, they're going to find things out about each other. They're going to discover through this kind of crotchety interaction of these people thrown together, each dealing with their own personal feelings, that they are going to find some way of, getting under each other's skin. So the format may be unsurprising, but there is nothing unsurprising about just how good and just how enjoyable this is. I know this sounds like a strange thing to say, but it feels like the kind of bittersweet, character, dialogue-driven piece that they just don't make anymore. If you walked into a cinema knowing nothing about this and knowing nothing about Paul Giamatti or anyone, and you just started watching it, you would think you were watching a film from 1970. I mean, it's not just to do with the look and texture of the film, it's everything about it is like the kind of film they just don't make anymore. Do you remember when David Putnam said he was going to stop making movies, directing, because he thought it was no longer possible to make the kind of mid-range intelligent drama that wasn't, it wasn't a big action blockbuster and it wasn't a tiny. And then he said that actually George Clooney was making the kind of films that he thought you couldn't make anymore. The central trio, they're great. The performances are really, really good, really engaging and charming. At times it's hilarious. At times it's heartbreaking. It is never less than utterly engaging. At the end of it, and I saw it in a room with just a few people, I promise this is what happened. The film finished and the lights went up, and we almost in chorus all turned to each other and went, why don't they make films like that anymore?
Wow. Okay.
And it's so, and I know, and what I don't want that to make it sound like is because I don't believe in the thing about films aren't as good as they were, because I actually think cinema is now, probably as good as, if not better than it ever was. But there is something about the character dialogue driven, bittersweet, I say, hilarious and heartbreaking, all those things. And it's just lovely. It's just absolutely lovely.
Max Walker in Altrincham, plenty to like, starting with the way it's talking about Holdovers.
Yeah.
Starting with the way it's filmed in grainy 70s films, stock style, harking back to those 70s films I watched on TV in the late 70s. Paul Giamatti plays his role to perfection as the old-fashioned grumpy teacher at a boys' New England private school who thinks all his pupils are spoiled rich kids. It does what all the best films do, letting the story do the work. Reminiscent in parts to The Wonder Boys, one of my favourite films. It's well worth your time and refreshing change to most of what's out there at the moment. The Academy loves this kind of film, and Paul Giamatti could be a Best Actor Oscar winner, with Sessa and Randolph both shoo-ins for supporting roles. Highly recommended. So Max Walker is agreeing with you. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.